mission.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mission of Hope Banquet. We're pleased that you're all here to support the Northlands Rescue Mission. My name is Steve Brekke, with crutches, as you can all see today, so I got to get a little comfortable here first. I am the chair of the board for the Northlands Rescue Mission, and we'd like to thank you all for attending, and we really appreciate it greatly. I know a lot of you that are out here do a lot for the mission with your time, treasure, and talent, and it's greatly appreciated. A lot of you folks and businesses, you volunteer, you'll serve meals, you'll come and help us pack backpacks for the backpack program, and it's greatly appreciated, and we just want to thank you very, very much for all you do. And for some of you folks that maybe this might be your first time at this event, and you've always thought about maybe I'd like to help out at the mission, there's many opportunities that are available. We're looking for volunteers all the time, and it's very rewarding to help people out. You know, the good Lord has always told us, let's help others out, let's make things a little bit better, and that's what we do at the mission. You know, when I first became a board member, I thought the mission was basically, you know, just for homeless people, right? Boy, was I wrong. The mission does a lot more than that, you know? And as time's gone on, I think I've been on the board 4 years, and I learn a little bit every time I go in there. And what the staff does with the leadership of Sue is, you know, a lot of the people that come to the mission, you know, maybe be down and out a little bit. They're looking for some help. They're looking for maybe a break, you know? And the mission helps them. I didn't realize that some people that may come in don't even have a birth certificate, don't even have a social security card, maybe don't even have a driver's license. And you know what? At the mission, the people we have at the mission help them obtain some of those things so they can get back on their feet and be a contributor to society, which is what most of the people want to do. And that's what we do at the Northlands Rescue Mission. So tonight, as you'll see a lot of great things that will go on here, you'll hear some stories. Please keep that in mind, again, as to how you can help. You can help with your time, your treasure, and your talent. And now what I'd like to do, I'd like to introduce some of our board members. So when I call your name, if you're here, would you please stand up? Amy, Darren, Claudia, Julie, Rob, Dan, and Nadia. Would you all please stand and be recognized? They do a great job. We've got a very good board, and we're very, very appreciative of what they do. And it's a board that wants to make a difference, and we feel we are making a difference in people's lives. With that, now I'd like to introduce, where's Sue, our executive director? Oh, there she is, hiding behind the balloons. All right, please welcome Sue Shirek, the executive director of the Northlands Rescue Mission.
Good evening, everyone. It is so good to be back up here again, and I'm so thankful and grateful for each and every one of you for taking the time out of your evening, on a beautiful evening, to come and be with us to celebrate the changing lives that happen at the mission. So before we have our table grace, I just would like to acknowledge the people that do the real work at the mission. And so if I can have all of my staff, please stand. these people go out of their ways. I shouldn't be crying right off the bat. They go out of their way to make sure that people have coats, that if there's a pot or a pan or a something that a client needs, that they get it. They go out of their way to treat people with the utmost of respect and to try to ensure that people have a fighting chance. And that's what tonight's event is all about. It's about celebrating hope realized. Not just hope, but hope that actually came to fruition. We hope you enjoy this evening. And I'm going to call Pastor Trenne to the front to do a table grace so we can all eat. And as she's making her way forward, I just want to acknowledge the fact that we did have a former board member who was going to give the grace tonight, and he passed away suddenly last week, a week and a half ago, somewhere in there. Pastor Kirk, so if you could keep his family and his church family from Calvary. He was a great supporter of the mission and the work that we do, and I'm very grateful that Pastor Trenne has graciously offered to step in and join us tonight.
Some of you may have heard this reading yesterday in church, Isaiah chapter 25. On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will make for all peoples a feast of rich food, a feast of well-aged wines, a rich food filled with marrow of well-aged wines strained clear. And he will destroy on this mountain the shroud that is cast over all peoples, the sheet that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death forever. Then the Lord will wipe away the tears from all faces, and the disgrace of his people he will take away from all the earth, for the Lord has spoken. It will be said on that day, "Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him, so that he might save us. This is the Lord for whom we have waited. Let us be glad and rejoice in his salvation." Let us pray. Good and gracious God, thank you for this prophecy given to Isaiah. Thank you that this prophecy came true in Jesus, our Lord. Thank you for the opportunity to accompany the clients of the Northlands Rescue Mission as this promise is fulfilled in their lives. Bless the hands that have prepared and served this food. Bless us as we share in the fellowship of this gift, and strengthen us all for your service. We pray all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I think we'll get started a little bit so we can get you guys out of here a little bit early tonight. And as we progress with the rest of the program, I just want to fill you in on a little bit of the impact that your gifts have, not just on the people who stay at the mission, but in the community as well. When you came in, you saw that groovy pyramid of styrofoam containers out on the tables outside. That was 250 styrofoam containers. That's about how many meals every day are going out into the community to people who come to our door to pick up a takeout container of food. In the month of August, we served 10,044 meals. We did 569 food baskets that month, equaling 30,250 pounds of food. 1 month. So since we were here last, we began working with sheltering families experiencing homelessness. In this last year, we have opened up 3 apartments that we rent in the community that we use to place families experiencing homelessness so that they can have that opportunity to remain together as a family, to sit down and have dinner together as a family, and to not be in a shelter setting. We serve 19 families, 51 total people, and had 2,443 nights of shelter in that time. And we didn't start with all 3 apartments right away. Last year in our main shelter building, we had 402 clients, and there were 13,648 times that someone laid their head down on a pillow at the mission and had a safe, warm place to be, had food 3 meals a day, and we have a great kitchen staff who cooks some awesome food. And they had people who were willing to work with them to help them get IDs, locate housing, employment, work to connect them to other resources in the community. And for them, they weren't just hoping for a better life, but it was hope realized. So tonight you're going to be hearing from 3 different people who have had hope realized, who for them hope has come to fruition, who for them they are no longer experiencing homelessness, but it was a part of their lives. So our first speaker tonight is someone who has just recently been with us at the mission, and our staff is very excited to have him up here because he is a bundle of joyful energy, and he is very excited to share with you about his life. So John, could you come to the stage, please?
This evening. Everybody having a good time, enjoying your meals? All right. My name is John Cansano, and I'm from the Northeast, and I came here looking for a place to relocate, and I found the Northland Rescue Mission. So what I did is they gave me a program. I worked the program. Fame, my caseworker, Sue, you're great. I love you. She's a great woman. They have an outstanding program there to help you with what you need to do in order to succeed in life, to get started. The other things you have to do is do the footwork. You have to get out and do it yourself. They can give you so many things to do. You have to go do the work yourself. And once you do that, you can really reach out and get yourself a place, a job, and then a car and everything from there. But basically, it's really not about me. It's about your sustainers, the people who give out to other people who are in need. That's where the blessings come from. Without the help from the community, people from all walks of life that come and give to people who really want that can have that. But they have to be the one who get up and do it. Can't just sit up there and say, oh, feel sorry for me. No, I'm not going to feel that way. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this no matter where I go. And if you talk to people and let them know your story, they'll be glad to help you. But be honest with them. You know what I mean? So with the sponsors and the sustainers and all the good people in Grand Forks and the surrounding areas, thank you so much for helping the mission, the volunteers, the whatever else that you can do to contribute to this good cause, because it is a great cause. It's for the people who came before me, the people who are there now, and the people who will come after me. So really give yourself a round of applause for doing such a wonderful job. You guys are the best. You're making this happen. For people who come from out of town and they're doing this, they do it because they like to do it. But like I said, that person has to be willing to get up and do what they have to do to make it, to show they're trying. It's not hard. It can be done. Just got to have that will and determination, but mostly have Jesus on your side. You can't go wrong with the Lord. You can't go wrong with Jesus. Jesus is there for you. When you're down, you're out. Can I get an amen? Amen. Amen, sisters and brothers. Yeah, so that's what it's about. So thank you. And I don't really have too much time to thank all the people I want to say. Hugo's Supermarket on 32nd Street. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And Southgate Bar and Grill, especially the kitchen staff at the mission, the maintenance people, all the volunteers, everybody that contributes. If we all do this together, it'll all come full circle. I love each and every one of you guys. If I don't know you, I still love you anyway, because that's what I'm supposed to do. And we're supposed to love each other, okay? That's how we do it, y'all. That's how we do it, okay? So thank you so much for coming out. I'm glad you guys made it, and I hope this touches somebody in some way. Let your light shine before men so they may see your good works, so they can honor and glorify your Father in heaven. Thank you very much. You guys are great.
So let me tell you a little bit about John that he didn't fill in the blanks with. When John was staying with us at the mission, he experienced some back pain and leg pain that made it really difficult for him some days to even get out of bed. And he said, I need to fix this, I need to figure this out, and I need to get up and I need to get on with life. And he powered through that and got help, medical help, and if there was a job to be done and he could do it, he did it. And he's been positive and uplifting to other people at the mission, and just has done everything that he was supposed to do. And he's employed. When I told the staff at Hugo's that he was going to be a speaker here tonight, they're like, he's a good guy. He is a positive guy. I had one staff member say, I saw John at Hugo's and he gave a kid $20 to get something that kid wanted at the store. He is a man who is living his best life, and he is more than happy to share that joy with others, and we're just very grateful that we got to be part of his journey. So, this journey, it's not all about just the mission, because we can't do it all and we don't expect to do it all. We have volunteers who come in. As volunteers, many of you were here and you help pack backpack bags, and this year we're packing over 1,200 backpack bags of food a week. That's a lot of hungry kids. But you guys are helping to make a difference with them as well, and we appreciate it. It's people who come in and offer their time, talent, and treasures their skills and are willing to reach in to meet with our clients so that as our clients leave, they have connections in the community, they have resources in the community, and that they can live not just lives once they leave the mission, but they can live stable, good, quality, healthy, drug and alcohol-free lives. So a couple years ago, we received a grant. Murray, our grant writer, is fabulous at his job and wrote a great grant that we got a partnership with Agassi Associates. And as a result, we've had some great connections that have happened. And one of the people who comes over to meet with our clients is a lady named Marlys. And you know what? Homelessness isn't always the scruffy-looking guy on the street corner with a sign. Homelessness could happen to any one of us. But homelessness isn't a life sentence. It's a life condition. And it can be very temporary. And when you can get beyond that and help other people out of it, what a blessing it is. And so I would now like to invite Marlys to the stage to share her story with you.
Thanks for the extra clap. Good evening. My name is Marlys, as Sue indicated, and I'm just so honored to be here tonight. I was so excited when Sue asked if I would be willing to share my experience here. 20 years ago today, I think I was in the middle of one heck of a struggle. I was kind of in and out of treatment. I know I had had a night outdoors, and it was really cold. I'll kind of start from the beginning. I started drinking, and at a fairly young age, I was 13 years old. It turned into alcoholism immediately, because I was immediately like, why don't people do this all the time? Because I didn't feel quite right, and when the alcohol hit, I felt okay. I felt like I could talk to people. I felt just kind of like a different version of myself, and I always wanted to feel that way. By the time I was 14, I was already trying to quit drinking because it was causing me very, very significant problems. I was getting carried to the door. I was, getting injured, getting in fights, doing the things. By the time I finished high school, I had 5 treatments. I went off to college. I made it a few years in college, and then I took a little break. I was kind of going back into my cycle of being in and out of treatment centers and, jails, hospitals, and institutions. And, my early 20s hit pretty hard. And I always kind of thought that I was going to get a handle on it, and one day things were just going to be better. And that's just not really the nature of a substance use disorder. They don't just typically, if they've crossed a certain point, they don't just typically remit on their own without some assistance. So I did a lot of treatments. I know that I completed 15 full treatments before I ever got sober. I had a lot of stints in jail before I ever got sober. We talk about the hospitalizations. I was in a lot of hospitals with overdoses. I actually kind of was revisiting. I brought my old backpack that I carried around when I was homeless. I brought it here tonight, and in that backpack is some paperwork. One of them, just some stuff I kept throughout the years, and every once in a while I revisit it. And I looked through this paperwork, and in there is a description of a night. I looked at the date. It was like November 20th, 2002. I had been out. I was living in Jamestown at the time. That's where I went to college. That's where I had my children. I was out. And apparently I decided I was going to hitchhike to California. Obviously. It was 30 below. I don't think I had a coat on. Long story short, I woke up in the hospital the next morning and found that I had been hitchhiking on interstate, was almost hit by a semi. Fortunately, because the semi driver called me and they came and found me, and I wasn't breathing, didn't have a pulse, and they called the coroner. And the coroner came and the sheriffs came, and I don't know what exactly, I still don't know what happened, but they got me to come back around, and I woke up in the hospital the next morning, ornery. Pulled the IV out and apparently went to my neighbor's room and tried to take a bath. very logical as always. And the word belligerent was used a lot in the committal paperwork. I'm not really sure where that would have come from, but apparently I was a little difficult to deal with. And then I tried to run away in my hospital gown, so to top it all off. And then I went to the state hospital. The sheriffs were like right outside the door. I'm running out. There's a taxi that I'm trying to catch, and no, I'm going to the state hospital. And so that's where I went. And that was my last admission to the state hospital. It was my 20th admission to the state hospital. I remember when I went in, they told me, "This is your 20th admission, Marlys. Congratulations." I was like, "Thank you." Thanks. Do I get something? Do I get a parting? I don't know. So at the end of it all, long story short, they had me go to a halfway house in Bismarck, which I immediately got kicked out of for drinking and kind of might have gone on a little bit of a rampage. And so I was not invited back. My parents came and picked me up, brought me back to Grafton. That's kind of how I ended up back in this area again. So I, kind of did my thing in Grafton for a while until my parents got sick of it, put me on a committal, and I ended up here in Grand Forks. I was in a residential facility here in Grand Forks and playing games, leaving, coming back, and at some point, I got kicked out of the residential facility. And the day I got kicked out of the residential facility, it was maybe about a week after I'd had that night out that I told you all about, because I was, doing that kind of running away thing, drinking and using, and kind of doing my own thing because I didn't want to really listen to anybody else at that point. I didn't want to go to the mission. I tried other stuff. I tried finding some places I could stay, and the options weren't looking very, very good. I was making a choice. I was gonna go find where people were staying down by the river, and mind you, it was real cold out, or I was gonna go check into the mission. And as I was leaving the residential facility, a guy I'd only met once in my life, and actually I still didn't know him because he had randomly wandered into my apartment and passed out on my couch, and so I called the police on him. That's how I knew him. He came along with his pickup, helped me move all my stuff over to the mission. Kind of long story short, I was able to check into the mission that night. I didn't think I was done yet. I went into the mission and I was able to breathalyze, I was able to be admitted, and I was able to go crawl into a bed. Because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do that night. I didn't know what I was gonna run into down at the river. I'd heard things, and I knew that wasn't where I really wanted to be. I mean, I also didn't really want to have to go to the mission, but it's what I did. And the second I laid my head on that pillow, I knew I was safe, and I knew I was where I needed to be. So throughout the years, I had been in and out of treatments and tried a lot of 12-step programs, and really hadn't been doing much of what people were telling me to. I kind of wanted things to get better, but I wanted it to be easy. As it turns out, there's a lot of work you gotta do. And I called somebody the next day, kind of when I woke up, and had this conversation, and she kind of gave me the what for, and something just hit. Something made sense that day that had never made sense before, and it was just like, why don't you try it someone else's way? Because your way isn't working. And it was like, that struck, and I basically realized what I'd been putting myself through all those years, and that I wouldn't have had to necessarily suffer as many years as I did. And so there were a lot of tears that day when I kind of realized how much simpler life could have been if I would have just maybe tried it someone else's way for once. But that was the day I started kind of following suggestions and doing what was recommended. I had a job at the mission. I came back and did the supper dishes every night. I went to my 12-step meetings. I had gotten a job right before I went into the hospital. I'd been in the hospital 4 or 5 times in that last little bit before I ended up at the mission. And I'd gotten a job and ended up drinking and going to the hospital, but I still had that job. So I went to work, went to meetings, came back, did my chore, and early sobriety, it's hard. I had some friends call once in the middle of the night, and staff had to come get me because they told me there was a family emergency when, in fact, they just wanted me to leave and go drink with them. And for the first time in my life, I think it was the first time I can remember, I did the right thing in one of those situations, one of those unexpected situations when it arose, and I said, don't call me here again. I gave the phone back to the staff, and I said, I'm really sorry. That was not a family emergency. That was my friends. They just want me to go party. And it was such a different feeling being able to decline the invitation to go wreck my life somewhere. Things just kind of built from there. The mission staff, even back then, were just so amazing, so helpful, so supportive. The gentleman, John, before me, indicated that when people see you doing the work, they want to help, and that's been so true for me. Right from the get-go, people could see that I was trying, and there was so much support, so much more than I ever realized, that I'm so grateful that I finally accepted it and was able to start kind of putting things together for myself. While I was out there, I did manage to graduate college. I had to get a pass from the state hospital to go to my college graduation, but I did manage to graduate college. I had 3 children who I did not have custody of at the time, obviously. There was no way I could have taken care of them with what was going on. So I was at the mission, I would say, for a couple of months while me and some real good friends in sobriety worked on making a plan and got my first place. And for a long time, after I got my daughter back, there'd be nights where we didn't have much food or we didn't have very many good options, and she'd say, Mom, let's go to the mish. And my daughter and I would go to the mish. We'd go have supper at the mish. And it was fun. There were people there that we knew. There were people there that were my friends and her friends, and it was just, some of my fondest memories are those times when we were kind of rebuilding. At some point, I went back to school and decided to get my license. I've always wanted to be an addiction counselor, but I never dared to say it out loud because I didn't think I had any hope. I didn't think I was going to be an addiction counselor. I really, the day I moved into the mission, I found some writing that I did that indicated that I'm not done yet. I know I'm not done drinking yet, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to keep that in my heart because I'm done today, and that's all I got. I got today, and that's all I can do. I can't promise one person in here that I'm done drinking all the way, but I know I'm not going to drink today, and I'm so grateful for that. Oh, thanks. Being able to get back into the mission and provide some services there has been it's hard to describe because I got to have a tour of the mission. Things have changed, but there's a lot is the same, and I got to see the place that I used to sleep. I get to feel the atmosphere. There's something special about the atmosphere at the mission, and I very much appreciate being able to go in there. I very much love the opportunity to be providing services there. I'm so grateful for everything that the mission has done for me. When I didn't have hope, they had hope for me because I remember staff telling me that. So I'm so grateful to be able to share that story with you and for all of you who are here tonight to help with this awesome event. I've never been here before, and I'm excited to be here. I'm really glad I got to be here. So thank you so much.
Whew, okay, get all my tears out of my system tonight. This is why I love my job, you guys. When people say, oh, well, you were a cop and now you're doing this, it makes sense because they need somebody like that. It's not that at all. It's faith in action. It's the power that comes with believing in yourself, believing in each other, belief in God, putting it all together and making it work. And it's powerful change. And I have been blessed to be a part of this work. So every year we do something that the acronym for it I just learned yesterday. I couldn't figure out what they were talking about. Of course, my staff will tell you that there's a lot I can't figure out that they're talking about sometimes. But this is called the HITHOTS Award, and it stands for Hope is the Heartbeat of the Soul. And we can't do this by ourselves, and there are 800 and some people that come in and volunteer their time throughout the course of a year to help us do the work that we do. This is a heavy lift, and we do not do it ourselves, and we do not do it without other people who make it happen, and we certainly don't do it without a lot of prayer. So tonight we're going to recognize some of those people. And Marlys, come back on up because you are getting our first. You can just stay up here. There you go, ma'am. Yep. Oh, okay. The second one, so these awards are, these people are nominated by all kinds of different staff. And this one goes to the Thursday night Bible study group. Can I have some representatives or representative from the Thursday night Bible study group? These are people that don't just lead Bible study, but they spend time with our clients and have really gone above and beyond to share with them and to be a part of the work that we do. And I couldn't think of a better person to come up here to represent than Paul.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. Stand up here. So since he's up here, he also gets his own award. So this is Paul Hain, and Paul serves meals. He does Bible study. He and his wife Sue are always in the kitchen around Thanksgiving time, helping us with meals. He's helped with guiding some people towards finding their faith. He's just been a blessing to the mission in so many ways, and so there you go, sir. So, we do this backpack program, and we certainly can't do this by ourselves either, and we've taken several leaps of faith and to put food into 1,200 kids' backpacks every week takes partnerships. And we would love if we could dole out every school to somebody and say, what can you do to help? And if you would take on this school, that would be really helpful. Well, we had a couple of schools that were more than willing to step up and do that. This one is especially heartfelt today because it's Calvary Lutheran Church. And with the loss of Pastor Kirk, it just makes that all that more special. And Calvary has not only adopted Lewis and Clark School for the backpack program, but they've adopted this school, period. And they provide all kinds of support. So Can I have someone from Calvary come forward, please? Some one-or-ones. And since we're giving out these backpack awards, we really wanted to ensure that middle school kids had the opportunity to have food too, because hungry kids aren't just in elementary school, and if you've ever had a middle schooler, they'll eat everything in your fridge. And, I'm kind of blessed to have had a wide and varied career path, and Diane Stoley from Calvary was one of my teachers that I worked with in the middle schools, and another person who's involved in giving back to kids and helping kids is part of the work that is done to now help bring the backpack program to some middle schoolers. And so Living Word Family Church has taken on South Middle School, and it's Kim Keller. I think this is kind of you are at the head of all of this, and she was a wonderful teacher that I worked with at South Middle School as well. So Kim, would you come forward? You can both come up if you want. Oops. And last but not least today, there are sometimes people who fall between the cracks. There are people that we don't have the room for, that don't qualify for services at the mission because they got in trouble, people that just show up and somebody needs to take on a little bit of the extra work that's involved with helping get homeless people into some place so that they have a roof over their heads for the night or a couple nights. And when our family shelters are full, or there's somebody who shows up on their doorstep, these people have been phenomenal partners for us. So Pat or Roberta, would you or both of you please come up and accept for homeless helpers? Come on, both of you. If you don't know about Homeless Helpers, they're a pretty new organization in town whose job is to fill the need, to fill the gaps in service, in providing service for families and individuals experiencing homelessness. We call each other in the middle of the night, and we try and do what we can to make a difference for everyone. So. You're welcome. This is what it means to have a community, a region, and a whole bunch of people who care make a difference in the lives of others. So thank you all. Thank you, guys. So it's kind of like going to church on the day when they do the ask for money now. And nobody wants that day. Nobody likes that sermon. But we couldn't do what we do without your support. So many of you have been such kind and generous and faithful donors. We want to say thank you. From the bottom of all of our hearts, the people who are staying at the mission, the people who have been our clients, the staff who get to do what we do because you make a difference, and all the people in the community, the kids who benefit from the backpack program, the people who come from miles around for a food box. I don't know how many people we're going to serve this Thanksgiving with our community Thanksgiving dinner. And all the people who come to us who just want a roof over their head, a safe place to be, a warm, dry pair of socks, a chance to start a fresh life. If you can be a part of that, we have some envelopes on the table. If you can give, we would be very appreciative. If you'd like to take home an envelope and think about it, pray on it, that's really wonderful too. And let God put it on your heart. Because we can't do it without you. We truly can't. Every day when we open the mail, some days there's 3 $1 bills in an envelope from someone. And some days there's beautiful checks with a lot more zeros behind them. But it's you guys that make it all happen. Murray's a fabulous grant writer, but he can't do it all because those grants just aren't out there. But we thank you all for what you do, for keeping us in prayer, for keeping these doors open for over 80 years. We are one of the longest running shelters in the country, and for making a difference. So as you think about that, think about the Johns, think about the Marlyses, and think about the Joels who is yet to speak, whose lives you can change. It doesn't have to be a big gift. Maybe it's $10 a week. Maybe you give up a couple Starbucks. Every little bit makes a difference. You've met Jason before, if you remember from the last couple years. I can tell you that Jason just went out and bought his first car. He got a beautiful new not brand new, but he got a beautiful pickup. And his life is so different than what you saw on some slides here a few years ago. Lives can change and lives do change. So I'm going to ask Joel to come up to the stage, and he will be our final speaker tonight. After he's done, I have all the raffle winners, and you must be present to win. So we're going to keep you here for a few extra minutes, and we'll go through the instructions on how you can get your winning auction bids after he's done. So Joel.
Thank you, Sue. What an honor and a blessing it is to share with you guys a little bit about my story and how the Northlands Rescue Mission and the staff there helped me find hope that I didn't have before I came to the mission. I was struggling with drugs and alcohol for over 25 years, in and out of treatment facilities, in and out of the hospitals, 6 inpatient treatments, a couple outpatient treatments. So I was a fighter. I never gave up. But I never found what the answer was and why I kept doing the things I did. Before coming into the Northlands Rescue Mission, I was at a homeless encampment in Minneapolis, and this was during the time of the pandemic when it first started, and also the George Floyd murder. And so the streets were pretty hostile, quite dangerous. And I was living in a homeless encampment. Before this, I was homeless for over 11 years. I was on the waiting list in Minneapolis, public housing waiting lists for over 11 years. So I was couch hopping, living in my van, all over the place, living with my parents off and on. And I didn't really have much hope. I really didn't care if I lived or died at the time that I was in at the homeless encampment. It wasn't until November, just a couple of years ago, 3 years ago or so, that a group of 3 men came to the encampment. One from Fargo, one from Thief River Falls, and another one, I'm not sure where he's from. They were ex-military guys who happened to be Christians, and they brought some winter gear to the homeless encampment. And they asked the whole encampment, if you had a place to go and a job, would you leave? I was the only one out of 23 that said yes. So a short while later, after Christmas, it was in January, I think, January 10th or 11th, they helped me escape the encampment. There was all kinds of trafficking of all sorts going on there. The only thing I was involved with was using. I was panhandling on the streets. I was at Aldi's in Minneapolis trying to get food and holding up a sign saying anything helps. And they ended up helping me escape the encampment. I had no clue where I was going, but I left everything behind. My dad recently passed, and I left all his tools behind, his bike behind, all the clothes and the stuff that I accrued in my home, in my tent. And I said, I'm ready, let's go. No clue where I was going, and they brought me to the rescue mission. And it wasn't there until hope was restored. I didn't know there was any hope for me. I burned all the bridges in my family's relationships with my family and my friends. They didn't really want me around. I was pretty ugly when I was under the influence. They still loved me, they just couldn't have me live with them. And the very first night, I was able to take a shower, in an actual shower, not in the river, not by a spigot, but I had body soap, I had a towel and wash rag, I got clean clothes. I'll tell you what, I wept in that shower. I didn't think there was any hope for me. And that was the longest shower I think I've ever taken in my life. Anyway, I got everything cleaned out from the top to the bottom. While at the mission, I was there for about 4 months. I was able to utilize the mission and the staff there to utilize the resources in the community. They helped me get health insurance at the mission over at Spectra Health. And I was able to see a social worker there, just somebody to talk to on a weekly basis to help me with my addiction issues. Also, Bobby at the 4th month, Bobby, social worker at the Northlands Rescue Mission, and with the help of Sue and all of you guys. Yes, let's give Bobby a round of applause. And of course, Sue, and ultimately you guys. With your help and your donations, was able to help me get a place of my very own for the first time in over 12 years. I was able to get in an apartment. They helped with the first and last month's rent and security deposit. And I am thankful to say that I call my apartment home now. And in April, it'll be 3 years. I'll sign my 3-year lease in April. Absolutely. So it's because of your kindness and generosity to give to the mission that brought me hope that I didn't feel in many, many, many years. When I got into my own place, I ended up finding a home church at Freedom Church downtown, and I got into a group called Celebrate Recovery, which is the same as any other recovery group in that our only higher power is called Jesus Christ. And when I found Jesus Christ and surrendered my life to Him, my life has not been the same. And now, just a couple years later, I'm going to celebrate my 2-year sobriety date on November 1st. Yes, praise the Lord for that. I am definitely not who I used to be. I'm a new creation. The old's gone and the new is here. And I also was able to get myself a career. I never thought I would have a career. I don't have any schooling other than high school. Graduated from high school. I bounced from job to job. I could never hold a job down, let alone a place to live either. But now I have a career working at You Shine 2 Guardianship downtown, where I am a peer support specialist, and I'm able to help other people that are going through similar things that I've been through, such as homelessness, addictions, anxiety, depression, all of that. And talk about the tables turning. And now I'm helping other people, just like you guys are helped me, I'm able to help them. So I have 25 participants that I work with on a weekly basis, try and get them into housing, trying with the help of the mission too, get some food boxes, get connected. So we kind of work in conjunction with the mission at You Shine 2 and try and house some of these people that we have. It's really cool. I'm able to go into jail and not be worried about it. Don't have anything around my wrist anymore. And I'm able to bring hope to those that aren't feeling real hopeful. And I cannot not share my faith tonight. And it is because the mission was the beginning of my hope, but my eternal hope lies in Jesus Christ. And with his help on a daily basis, I give up my will every single day and to do his will instead. My will got me into the homeless encampment and lost everything. So I'm so grateful for what he's doing to be able to give back. Soon I'm going to be a care coordinator with You Shine 2. So it's just kind of a step up, helping people figure out what goals they'd like to attain and help them reach those goals. I'm also in the process of becoming a ministry leader at Celebrate Recovery at Freedom Church within the next 6 months or so. So I am able to help other people that are going through similar things as I am in finding hope in Jesus Christ, and also to find sobriety as well, and to walk with them and to do that with them. And finally, I would just like to say, be gracious in your giving tonight, because I'm a life that is changed. I'm just one. We were just 3 stories of many. So be gracious in your giving. God honors that. And with your giving, I had the opportunity to stand here tonight and just showcase what you and the Lord can do with somebody that's willing. So thank you guys for your giving, and have a blessed evening.
See, you don't need me and Steve up here anymore. We can just retire, and we're just going to keep bringing you the stories from the people whose lives have really changed. Before we move on tonight, I just want to say thank you to my staff once again. Thank you to a very kind and supportive board. Thank you to Misty Kaufman and Balloons by Misty for filling up this room with all these crazy, wonderful balloon decorations. Thank you for all that you all do. Thank you to my husband and my daughter for putting up with all the things that I keep getting them and all our other kids involved in, whether they like it or not. Happy birthday to our friend Kathy. And this is her night out for her birthday. She got to come to the mission banquet with us, but, you know, it's a blessing. So I have the winners for the tickets. And if you want to get out your tickets, we'll start with the red tickets. The level 2 winners in red. There are 4 of you. Number 762953. Number 763041. 762950. 762946. All right. You can claim your prizes out there if you are one of those winners. Level 3 blue winners. Level 3 blue ticket winners. 9594523. 9594646. I feel like somebody should holler bingo. And number 959624. I think we're missing a 9594624. The winner of the date night package, 9594589. 9594589. And then the winner of the 50/50 for $220, 9594712. 9594712. Awesome. Okay, they're putting me in charge of the clicker now. So you have QR codes on your programs if you would like to make a gift via the QR code. And we also have them up on the screens if you want to hold your phone up and you can capture the QR code. And you can give that way as an option. The auction closes at 11 o'clock tonight. It gives everybody a chance to get home and get in their final vicious bids before you go to bed. And you can, set your bid limit high if you want, and then you can just wake up and not have to worry about it because you will have bid as much as you want to bid. You can pay for your auction items either via directly with your credit or debit card on hand bid. You can pay when you come and pick them up. You can use cash, credit card, or a check if you're real old school. And we will have those available for you at the mission at door number 2 starting tomorrow morning. To view your balance, click on invoices on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and you will find that on the left side of the handbid app. And you will get some notifications about your winning bids. So this is the door that you are going to go to pick them up. If you listen to KNOX on Monday morning, you hear me talk about door number 1. This is not door number 1, this is door number 2. So now you've experienced a whole nother door of the mission. So you can come starting at 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and pick up your packages. We do offer some delivery options or shipping options for those of you who have bid who are out of state. Upcoming events. We have Giving Hearts Day on February 8th, so that's my anniversary. So, honey, guess what we're doing on Giving Hearts Day? Sorry. Yeah, we're not going to be here. March 9th, if you're a golfer, we have our 2nd annual Windchill Classic, which is an indoor golf tournament at Albatross, and you can get signed up for that. And our Mulligan Classic, which is when the sun shines and it's warm again outside, is June 6th. So we thank you for being here with us. We thank you for helping Hope Realized to become a reality. We ask you to keep us in your prayers, help us to make a difference. Have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless you all. Staff, did I miss anything? Okay, thank you. Then have an awesome and blessed evening, and thank you for being here with us tonight.